Hello, my name is Dara Abimbade Dara, and I'm your academic advisor for 200 level courses. I sent you a mail already about how we are going to be taking these courses, and we are going to take T202 for the next 7 days. I'm sending you this video on the first topic of T202. This is your material that I have here. This is the first topic for T202, instructional resources and communication, and we are going to talk about this, and then we're not going to finish everything at once. We're just going to take it one step at a time. If you have any question, you're gonna let me know the question and I'm going to answer you, but I'll try as much as possible to simplify what we have in this study material that we have here. We start by talking about resources. As you can see here, the first thing is to know the type of resources we have in education. We have two major classes. So if you're trying to read this material, just make sure you look at or check the salient points so that you'll have better understanding of what the material is saying or what we are trying to say when it comes to these courses. The first thing we are discussing, like I said, is resources. And there are two major classes of resources. That's one thing you must understand. That is one thing you must always remember when you're talking about resources. Two major classes. The first one has to do with the human resources. Can you see what I highlighted here? Human resources. And then we also have facilities. See, facilities, instructional materials and all. In human resources, we have students, teaching staff or non-teaching staffs, we have counselors, we have administrators, we have librarians. Just think about any person in the school system. Just think about anybody that works within the school system, the one that has to do with human flesh and blood. We have directors, even in distant learning that we have directors, deputy directors. Those are human resources. They are not inanimate objects. They are not objects, they are humans. So the first one is human resources, and the second one is facility or instructional material. In facility, we talk about objects, inanimate things, things that don't breathe. And in facilities, we have school buildings, we have the library, we have furnitures, utilities, security. All these are examples of resources that are facilities. So we have managed to talk about these two classes of resources: the human resources on one hand and facilities on the other hand, and instructional materials. So we have examples of human resources. We also have examples of facilities and instructional materials. The example are all there. Then we move on to the variety of educational communication media. If you look at this figure or this diagram, you'll see that under educational media we have three aspects. We have the visual aspect, we have the audio aspect, and we have the audiovisual aspect. The visual aspect has to do with what you can see, what you can visualize, what you can use your two naked eyes to see. The audio aspect has to do with what you can hear using your auditory nerves, using your ears. And the audiovisual has to do with what you can see and what you can hear. So in audiovisual, the first example that's going to come to your mind that is everywhere is the television, because you can hear what someone is saying on the television and you can also see it. A motion picture is accompanied with what you can hear. The computer, you can also see, and if there is sound, hear. Films, you watch films, you hear what they are saying, you see what they are doing. Also in video, you see, you hear. The next one, the audio, the major example that comes to your mind also is the radio. Radio, you cannot see the person. On the other hand, you can only hear the person. So radio is a very good example of audio. Then audio tapes is another good example. Compact disc, record player, public address system. I'm sure you know what public address system is. When you're in a large lecture theater and someone is using a mic with a speaker somewhere to speak so that his voice will be heard by everybody. That's a public address system, and that's a good example of audio. And also we have the visual. In visual, we have two types: the projected visual and the non-projected visual. In the projected visual, as you can see here, we have slide projector, we have film strip projector, we have overhead projector, we have episcope opaque, and we have projector. In fact, now we have multimedia projector. You know, the one they hang in so that you'll be able to see what is on the screen. As you can see behind me, that is an interactive whiteboard. This is a kind of board that the projector just takes a look on, and you'll be able to see whatever is going on. Then you have, in the non-projected visual, we have three-dimensional and two-dimensional. The examples are all there for you. So we move on to instructional communication. In instructional communication, we will talk about all the sensory nerves that you would use to communicate. And I'm sure in our biology classes, if you can still remember, we talk about all these sensory nerves. We talk about the ears, we talk about the eyes, we talk about the nose, we talk about our skin and our tongue. Our ears allow us to hear things. Our eyes allow us to see, and our nose allows us to smell. Our skin allows us to feel things, and our tongue makes us able to talk. So in communication, we have someone that is sending you an information, and you have someone that is receiving it, which is called the receiver. Someone sending the information is called the sender. Someone receiving it is called the receiver. And the medium you would use to send it, that's another aspect of communication. You know, if you want to send an email that you send almost every day. If you want to send an email to me, you are the sender. The medium you are using is through the internet, the email, or the computer. And then I am the receiver. And I could give you a feedback to whatever you asked me in your mail. Then, what else do we have under instructional communication? See, the teacher may convey the message through voice, through written materials. As I'm doing now, I'm combining voice with visual so that you're able to understand me better. See, you can use voice, written materials, graphics, material, audio system, TV as a means of communication. Also in instructional communication, the function of the teacher is to encode the message. See, you know what you want to send. You are the one that will package the message as the sender, and then you send it to your students. It might not be students, it might be someone on the other end that is called the receiver. So the person on the other hand will decode the message. You are the one that encode the message, and the other person will decode the message. What you have in the message is the code. So that is how all this thing works. Encoder, me. What we have in the message is the code. The person on the other hand will decode the message. So that is how it is. I want you to take a look at this diagram. Essential elements in communication technology: the sender, the message that you are sending, the medium, and also the receiver. The sender might be me. I'm sending you a message. There is a medium with which I'm using to send it, and also there is a receiver. Let me use this to explain. I am sending you this message using my email. Then what is inside the email could be, please attend to this T202 message. The medium is through the email, and then you are the receiver. Then there is a feedback from you that will complete the cycle for communication. Because of how heavy this video could be, I will stop at this place, and then I will continue from here, because teaching and communication is school oriented, at another time. But I want you to listen to this and ask me questions or whatever you think, or how we can be able to understand ourselves better, or if there's another thing we can do to make sure we have a rewarding experience as we are teaching this course. Thank you.